Alright, so Windows finished the copying process, and you can see here now the writing folder that was over in the documents from the, on the computer storage. There is now a copy of it in here, and everything is, duplicated in that way, and that's how you would make a backup copy of any of your data. You can see it still lives over here on your computer, and now it's also over here on this separate drive. So that is, essentially is what you would be doing for that. And you want to make sure before you even think about, changing computers or, installing a different operating system like Linux or whatever, or even just, reinstalling Windows or whatever your plans are there. You want to make sure while you can still access all your, files and everything that you do make these important backups. Because once you go through a process like that, it does delete, everything that's on the internal storage for the computer. It's like it's wiping the slate clean, basically, and starting fresh. So you want to make sure you have those important backups for sure ahead of time. So one other thing too, and I will just check this really quick, go over this really quick rather. For storage, and I was saying, there's different sizes for different, disks and devices and things like that. So, so one easy way to do that is to see how much storage space you have is you can just go on Windows. You can just go to your local disk here. If you right-click where it says local disk, you'll get this menu, and if you go over to Properties, it'll tell you some general information about your system disk here, and this is basically the storage drive that's inside the computer. They just call it an internal storage, internal hard drive, whatever you want to say. There's a couple of terms you could use for it, but in this particular case, you can see the capacity here. It says 465 gigabytes. So the official number is this is supposed to be a 500 gigabyte storage drive inside this computer that I have here. But you can see here, it'll show you too, like how much space have you used and how much space do you have left. And it's also represented by this little circular chart here, where this little blue slice of 54.5 gigabytes has been used, and the remaining 410 free space is the rest of this gray circle here. So that will just give you an idea of the amount of space you're working with, either on your local disk, or you can also do it for the storage drive that you have too. If you're not sure how much space is on here, you can just either right-click in the blank space when you're looking inside of the folder, or inside of the device like we have here, or else you can just do it right here too. Right-click on it, go to Properties, and then here again. Capacity is shown as 58.8 gigabytes. On the outside of the drive, it shows 64 gigabytes. So there's going to be some discrepancies with those numbers. It's very common. You're like, if it says 64 gigabytes, like this particular thumb drive is that I have, you're never actually going to see 64 gigabytes for the number for its full capacity, and it's for a variety of reasons, but basically, it should be pretty close to that number. So 58, that's, could be a little higher, but it's still pretty close. So, and then here, with that, I've used, 47, almost 48 gigabytes of the space. So there's only 10 gigabytes left of space. So in this case, the majority of the, storage on this device has been taken up by files. And again, that's what you can see. It's like this is almost a little bit more than 1/10 of the size of the capacity that the internal storage has on this particular computer. So those are the kinds of things you do want to keep in mind when you are storing stuff. So if you enjoyed this video and you want to learn even more, you can find my books at bookstoread.com/Jonathan. That's books, the number 2, read.com/JONATHAN.